All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the part-time homestead. So it's been a while since I've made an actual video. I've posted recently, but I haven't made an actual video. So this is my first since October of 2021. It is now January 3rd of 2022. So happy New Year, everyone, and let's just get it right out in the opening. First off, I moved. We moved. Part-time homestead moved. And that's why that I was so busy and I didn't get a chance to post any videos or talk about the bees or anything like that. And I'm standing here in front of this boat because I wanted to bring my bees with me. I did bring my bees with me because they're going to be an important part of my plans here at the new homestead, which we'll talk about in another video. But today's video is about the bees, an update on the bees. So we packed up this 12-foot trailer with 3 bee boxes and about 5 kennels full of chickens, ducks, turkeys, and whatever you could imagine. We threw a tarp over it and we hauled it 2,000 miles to our new destination. Now, this trailer was bouncy and the tarp ripped. There was holes all over in the tarp. It was pretty much shredded. The trailer was bouncing all over the place. It was a rough, long, 41-hour drive for the bees. So I want to show you kind of how I did it, what I did, and the outcome, where my bees are now. So let's go take a look. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see. If you guys can't see, I'll show you in the next one. But this is the split that I was successful at making back in August. We saw it in October. It was kind of a dwindling population. I didn't see a queen, and there was, I think, a few brood in there. So what I did for the move was I took basic screen and thumbtacks, and I put them over all the entrances and all the little nooks and crannies so the bees could not get out. I went out in the middle of the night, buttoned it up, and got it ready for transport. Okay. There was one other thing that I did is I found these mesh bags on mountainsweethoney.com, and they have these mesh bags. They can hold 2 deeps and a medium. I mean, the mesh bags are super tall. And I basically picked up the hive, put the mesh bag over, tied a knot at the top. So entrances were closed and the whole hives were mesh bagged. I'll show you those bags here, well, what's left of them in a minute. But this was the split. Now I've already opened this up and gone through it because there was no bee activity, and I already know the outcome of this hive, but I'll show you guys. So, all right. So something. On the last video, my October update, you'll know that I was having a varroa mite problem and I also needed to feed because I was low, and I said I was going to get feeding frames. Well, this is the feeding frame here, and it is still full of syrup, and it has these things inside to where the bees can go down, but it's chock-a-block full of syrup. Okay, and here's one of, you'll notice there's some frames missing because I took some out that had honey in it and I was feeding the other hives. So you'll see that it's a bunch of dead bees. I didn't find the queen, but they're basically frozen. They're all frozen and dead. There's a bunch of bees in the bottom, but all those are the same. And then you'll notice frames like this where the honeycomb is broke off. So on the trip, and so on the trip with all the bouncing and jiggling, some of these frames that I made either broke and the honeycomb broke off. So it was kind of a mess in here. But there was activity in this hive when we came here. Definitely happy to see that today. That is looking really positive. This is one of the only hives that survived, at least in my opinion. I was thinking. Now it looks like hive activity, not robin activity, so super happy about that. But I don't know if they died shortly after or if it was robbing. So my split is dead. All right, so let's go take a look at the other hives. So this was the one that had the flow frames on it. So in the October video, it was the last hive. It was my largest colony, but they had gone through a lot of its honey, and this one definitely had varroa mites in it. I saw damaged wings and varroa mites all over the bees. Since I've gotten here, absolutely no activity in this hive. There's nothing going on in this hive at all. This, it's still on the base of the hive, but basically it just pulled up and it would go over the hive like that. This was the mesh bag that I had over the hives after I closed up the entrances. This hive, the flow frame hive, is dead. All right, and the last colony, the last hive, which is the agro hive, is here. Now, I have a little bit of hope for this hive. There is one bee right there on the board, and I did put frames from the other hives out here for feeding purposes, and there has been activity in here. Now this, on the other hand, looks a little bit more chaotic. I don't know if it's because of the larger opening, but there's bees flying all around the entrance here. So I would say, if you were asking me, that this is more like a robbing event going on here in this bigger hive. So, because that hive was looking like this hive with absolutely nothing going on in it. So yeah, I'm thinking that that's robbing, but I'm not 100% sure. But there's a lot of dead bees in there, and I really don't know what the status is. There comes in another bee right there. So I'm not exactly sure what the status is. I just know that I'm not going to open it up until the weather gets warmer here. But agro hive might be a success. But my plan moving forward from here is I won't be posting any more videos till springtime unless something crazy happens. And I'm probably going to buy a package of bees for one of these other hives, because I do want to still keep bees. And I know I said I wasn't going to do that anymore, but the move was not in my plans, and it was pretty rough and pretty hard on the bees. And the fact that I was unable to attend them appropriately with the whole move going on last year. So that's where we're at with the bees today. That's where I plan to go moving forward, with a new package, new bees, and hope for this one to survive over the winter. It is super cold today. It's like 20 degrees this morning, so it's gonna be rough. But wish me luck. Stay tuned. There'll be more videos upcoming in spring.